Well, good Thursday afternoon, everyone. It's good to see you, ARAC family. And what I wanted to share with you today, so it's something that happened this week. I had an opportunity this week to meet with several other pastors in town as I try and get to know our town and our city and the other churches. And there were delightful times of connecting with other men who really have a heart and a passion for Seaford and the area. But as I did this, and I'm hoping to do more of this as time goes on, there were three things that popped out in my head that I wanted to share with you that I thought were applicable to all of us. Three things that kind of resonated with me and seemed to be in common. And the first one is simply this: we are not isolated. We are not alone. A lot of times when we serve in the kingdom, we can feel like we're the only ones doing all the work, or we're the only ones that are making things happen, or our church is the only one that's doing certain things. It is simply not true. God is at work in many people and in many ways. And the next time you're tempted to think either A, that you're alone, or that the way we're doing things is the best way, just know that God is at work in many different places. There are people all over who are putting their heart and their soul into serving the kingdom. And that's encouraging, because there's something about sharing the burden with others, either within the church or with other churches, that is really helpful. Second observation: isolation then is deadly. When you get together with other pastors, there is a sharing of the burden of leading churches that is really helpful. This isolation, Satan loves to pick people off in isolation. He will do it within a church if he can get you to think that nobody cares, that no one wants to be around you, be near you. It's why we're going to be reigniting our small groups this year, because isolation and being by yourself is very damaging to a follower of Jesus. I think it's one of the biggest problems with COVID, because it has isolated people away from those that care about them. So when you are serving, when you are engaging, when you are looking and being a part of it, realize that within the church, you are not alone. And so you don't want to isolate yourself. And then we as a church never want to isolate ourselves within the community. We are part of a bigger church that's going after the kingdom. And that's the third thing. There is an astonishing need for the gospel of Jesus Christ in our area. In Sussex County, there are over 100,000 people conservatively that have no knowledge of, never hear of, or have no level of understanding about who Jesus Christ is. Do you realize that means that every church in our area could be 400 or 500 people strong, and we still wouldn't be able to handle the number of people that don't know Jesus? The need is great. And when I talk to other pastors, I see the passion and the desire to reach people for Jesus. So we are not alone in this. And so, of course, we're going to be looking for ways to partner with other churches and organizations as the years go by to leverage our capabilities. But even as we reach out personally and as a church, hugely important that the harvest is plentiful and that God has it ready for us. We just have to follow. So my encouragement to you this week, as you go into this weekend, is to know that you are not alone. Sometimes we know this, but sometimes we need to be reminded. So two, don't isolate yourself. Don't back away. And when everything inside you wants to withdraw or be apart from people, resist that urge. Fight against it and engage with people. And then third, let's go after this harvest together as we each practice our what's next in the kingdom. See you all this weekend, and have a great week.